All right, so let's get started. Use the strategy, draw a diagram. That is what this is. Draw a diagram to solve a multi-step multiplication problem. Amy planted 8 rows with tulips in each row. Widths. What do I know? Well, so far I know that Amy planted 8 rows with 18 tulips in each row. So 8 rows with 18 tulips in each row. Those would be my columns. In each of the 4 middle rows, there are 4 red tulips. So it's saying the 4 middle rows. And I'm going to switch down here to this one because they've already done the work for me. So this is showing you my highlighter. 4 rows. Row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. In each of the 4 middle rows, there are 4 red tulips. So 4 red in this row, 4 in this row, 4 in this row, and 4 in that row. All of the other tulips are yellow. So these are the only ones, funny that I used yellow. Let's switch to orange. So these right here are red. I do not have a red highlighter. Those are red. All the other tulips are yellow. That means all the tulips in this row are yellow. All in this row are yellow. Those, this one, those. All of those are yellow. And those few right there are red. So this is really helping you think about the problem. I need to find, what do I need to find? Well, my question says, what do we want to know? How many of the tulips are yellow tulips? There are blank yellow tulips. I need to find the total number of yellow tulips. What information do I need to use? Well, you need to use all of the information that you got from the word problem. The word problem told me that I had 8 rows of 18. So if I have 8 rows of 18, how many total tulips are here? Well, I'd have to solve it. I'd have to say to myself, 18 times 8. And I can do the algorithm if I want to, or you can use the area model, however you'd like to do it. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 1 is 8, and 8 plus 6 is 14. So how many total tulips do I have? If I have 8 rows of 18, then I have 144 tulips, which is shown right here. There are 4 rows of tulips with 4 red tulips in each row. In this section right here, I have 4 rows of 4. Well, 4 rows of 4 means 4 times 4, which is 16, which is also here. How am I going to figure out how many of these are yellow? Well, I'm going to think about how many total tulips I have, and since I know exactly how many are red, I can subtract the red tulips from the total number of tulips to get the final balance of tulips that are going to be yellow, which is what happened here. 144 minus 16 is 128. So there are 128 yellow tulips. So pause the video now and go back over that if you need to. And now let's jump into problem number 1. And I went ahead and got out my notebook because if they expect me to draw a diagram or a model my thinking, I'm gonna need a little more room, I'm pretty sure. All right, number 1. A car dealer has 8 rows of cars. Okay, he has 8 rows of cars, that's something I know, with 16 cars in each row. So we have 8 rows of cars. What do I know? I know I have 8 rows. And I know that in each one of those rows is going to be 16 cars. Now I could literally draw out 8 rows of 16 if I wanted to, but I don't have to. In each of the first 3 rows, 6 are used cars. So in each of the first 3 rows, so in these first 3 rows, 6 are used. So I have a little section here that are used. 3 rows. I already see I don't have enough room. So I'm going to just make a little line from it, and I'm going to say in that box I have 3 rows of 6 cars in that little box. And those are my used cars. The rest of the cars are new. So this section right here is used cars. Everything else are my new cars. How many new cars does the dealer have? Well, it doesn't tell me how many new ones I have, but it does tell me how many used cars I have. And it also tells me how many total cars I have. So if I figure out my total and I think about how many of those are used, what can I do to figure out how many are new? Think about that. I want to know what's left. Great, you're right. If I figure out how many total cars I have, so let's think over here. Total cars, 8 rows of 16 means 8 times 16. I'm going to use the algorithm right now because it's a little bit quicker. Who knows what 8 times 6 is? Right, 48. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. So 128 total cars. I have 128 total cars. Okay? How many of my cars are used? Well, my used cars, I have 3 rows of 6, which means I have 3 times 6. And 3 times 6 is absolutely 18. So if my total cars is 128 and my used cars are 18 out of this total, so this little box is located inside of my larger rectangle. So that means that these cars are part of my total cars. So what I need to know is, what is my other part? What's the part that's missing, the new cars? I have all of my cars, my total cars. Then I know what part is used. What is this part? How am I going to figure that out? That's right, we're going to subtract. So if I have 128 total cars and I take away my used cars, which is 18, that leaves me with 8 minus 8 is 0, 2 minus 1 is 1, and 1. 110. So I should have 110 new cars. Okay, are you with me? All right, let's keep rolling. Number 2, and I'm going to slide this down so I have room. Perfect, almost, there we go. Number 2, my friends, number 2, an orchard. You know what an orchard is? If you don't know, think about it for just a second. Orchard. Let's see if the context will help us. An orchard has 4 rows of apple trees with 12 trees in each row. Well, an orchard has 4 rows of apple trees. It must be a place where apple trees are. An orchard is a place where trees grow. So apple trees, pecan trees, peach trees, whatever you have. An orchard has 4 rows of apple trees. So we have an orchard and we have 4 rows of apple trees with 12 trees in each row. So I have 4 rows with 12 columns, or 12 in each row. There are also 6 rows of pear trees with 15 trees in each row. How many apple and pear trees are in the orchard? Now, I just want to think for a second. Up here, if you look back at the word problem, it told us, it said, a car dealership has 8 rows of cars with 16 cars in each row, in each of the first 3 rows. So it was telling us in each. So this is talking about inside of this box. But those aren't the words that are happening over here. So let's reread this. An orchard has 4 rows of apple trees with 12 trees in each row. There are also, so this is in addition to, there is also, and I'm going to make this a little bit longer because it's 6 rows, 6 rows of pear trees with 15 in each row. So over here we have our apple trees. Over here we have our pear trees. How many apple and pear trees are in the orchard? So all of these are in the same orchard. We need to figure out how many are in the orchard altogether. So this time, instead of doing the algorithm, I'm going to break this up and do the area model. I wish I hadn't written in it. So I'm going to come down here and do my area model underneath it. So if I want 4 times 12, I need 4 times. I need to break 12 up into a number bond. The best number bond to use is, that's right, 10 plus 2. So I'm going to break this box up and I'm going to have a 10 plus 2. 4 times 10 is absolutely, and 4 times 2 is absolutely 8. So 4 times 10 is 40, 4 times 2 is 8, 40 plus 8 is 48 apple trees. So there are 48 apple trees in this orchard. I'm going to come over here and do the area model for this one as well. 6 times 15. Making sure you can still see me. We're going to break that 15 up. What are we going to break it into? What number bond? 10 plus 5, absolutely. 6, and then 10 plus 5. 6 times 10 is 60, and 6 times 5 is 30. 60 plus 30 is 90. So I have 90 pear trees, I have 48 apple trees. My question is, how many apple and pear trees are in the orchard? Well, if I have 48 apple and I have 90 pear, how am I going to figure out how many are in the entire orchard? Yes, add them up, people, add them up. 8, 9 plus 4 is 13. So I have 138 total trees. All right, my friends, I hope that this was helpful for you. Please take your time and do the backside. If you have any questions, send me a message through Dojo.